Here's a message. Aidan, any updates on Sjporr beers, or have you not? I am at the moment, Aidan. Hang on fire. Happy Homebrew Wednesday, everybody. This one's running a little bit late. You see, I was waiting on the votes to come in for the Sjporr top 6 that are heading off on their OE to the UK and to the US. And I have the votes. They are in. And here they are. Here's the box. There's the beers, but I will not be telling you which beers are which just yet. You're going to have to wait. Right. I am transferring from one keg to another keg my black IPA. I had this dry hopped and the hop bag's all the way down the bottom, so instead of fishing around with my hand to get it out, I'll just transfer to another keg, leave the hop bag behind, clean that one out, re-dry hop that one, and do the same thing backwards and forwards until I finish my dry hopping regime. Now, of course, this is for the Battle of the Black IPA. And sitting in here is another one. Another Battle with the Black IPA, which is fermenting away. So there's 2 that will be going into the competition, both with different yeasts and different hopping. So it'll be interesting to see how that works out. 2 chances better than 1. Anyway. Some shout outs. A shout out to Kirk Sexton. There he is. Cheers, mate, for buying a t-shirt, putting it on, and standing in front of what looks like some awesome fermenters. Yeah, whereabouts are you, Kirk? Is that your garage? You're an awesome home brewer if that's your garage. But anyway, cheers for that. Alrighty, a big shout out to Ryan Crawford as well. Ryan won the New Zealand Amateur West Coast IPA Challenge that I participated in, and his beer is being launched tomorrow at the actual West Coast IPA Challenge, with all the commercial brewers around New Zealand all putting in a beer at one spot at the malt house and having a taste off. So his beer is amongst them, so that's awesome. I'll be popping in tomorrow to taste his beer and also to taste a few other West Coast IPAs that are on tap. It's going to be a great night. Obviously, this month and next month we're building up some big events for beer events in New Zealand. We have the Sober Winter Ale Festival in Wellington. We also have Beervana, which is the biggest beer festival in New Zealand. That's happening in August. What else is happening? There's lots and lots of little shows everywhere, and there's lots of lunches and tastings and dinners and bits and pieces all happening, and lots of beers being launched. So pretty much from now until middle of August there's something happening every week, every day really. But hey, what can you do? You've got to go along to as many as you can. It's not a Homebrew Wednesday without a homebrew. This one isn't carbonated. Oh, it's freshly hopped though. Oh, yum. Oh, it's going to be so interesting when it's carbonated and that aroma is being pushed out of that beer. Far out. Without further ado, I better get to the Sjporr beers. Where's my list? Bum ba da dum bum bum bum. Drum roll. Here are the 6 top Sjporr beers, voted by your peers and everybody that tasted the beers. Actually, we had some interesting results come through, and some pretty diverse results as well. It's really interesting to see what people like in a beer and their comments coming back about those beers and bits and pieces. Even we had one batch of the beers tasted up in Hallertau. Jason Scott took his beers along to Hallertau pub and he got some brewers to taste them. One of them being Joseph Wood from Liberty, and that's great. We got some great feedback from them, and it's interesting. It's a different feel on their kind of votes. So everybody's beer drinking is totally subjective, but what I've done is everybody's votes came in and they were tallied up to rank the top 6 beers. So here are our top 6 beers. Now I'll tell you the percentage of votes that they got as I say the beers. So the first beer we have off the lot is Tom Middleton. Awesome, Tom. You got, what was your percentage? 9% of the votes. Now, I've got to tell you that 5 beers got around about 10% of the votes. There was one beer that got 20% of the votes, and that's the winner. So number 5 in the lineup. Number 5 is, with 10% of the votes, Grant Baker. Alrighty, Grant, your yeast sample is going to be heading over to the US and the UK. Well done. Number 4. Where's my list? So I can announce it as it comes out. Number 4, also with 10% of the votes. 10.2.6.9, blah 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 blah. I just rounded up the numbers, but I added up all the tally votes, and this one definitely came in at number 4. Is Ian Watson's Smoking Bush Old Ale. So that one will be heading away as well. Number 3. Third place in the Sjporr OE beers. Well, this one is a pretty special beer. This one was ranked one of the highest beers by the commercial brewers, and it is Dean McDonald's Vanilla Porter. Well done, Dean. I know this is the second all grain that you've done, but this beer stood out absolutely phenomenally. Phenomenally. You were leading the pack right at the beginning there for a long time, and the brewers up in Auckland commented on how well your beer was balanced. It was very well put together. So good job, Dean. You should be very, very proud of the beer that you've brewed there. Number 2. Where am I? Oop, didn't see that, did you? Number 2 is oh, with 11%, me. Yay! Woohoo! Okay, cool. Second place. So with 11%, awesome. So my beer will be heading away. First place. Okay, I have not seen votes flood in for a beer as much as I've seen the votes flood in for this one. Now, unfortunately, I've only have one bottle of this beer. So if I can get another bottle of it so that I can send to the UK, because this one is going to be going to the US, that would be awesome. Otherwise, I'm going to have to substitute it and put the 7th beer in the top runnings in. And the 7th beer was, where am I? All getting impatient here. The 7th beer was Paul McCarthy's beer. Alrighty, so the number 1 beer in the Sjporr challenge was, get a better grip on it. Oh, the tension's killing you, isn't it? Oh, if only they had a bigger label on the bottle. Ooh, if only there was a bigger label. Oh, there's a little bit of a label. Ta-da! South Coast Brewery. Brent Sarton, mate, top-notch beer. Everybody was ranking your beer well ahead of all the rest. Very, very well put together beer. So that is that. There are the top 6. Packed in their polystyrene packaging box, because yeast samples need to be treated with care. And they will be shipping over to the US and the UK. Awesome. Brent, if you have another beer, I'd be much appreciated if I could get it off you. So I could send it over to Harry as well. I don't know how I mucked up the numbers, but I drew them all out and I only had one beer of yours. I think it's probably because it was so good I drank a couple of bottles. No, I didn't do that. I seem to have misplaced one along the way. Zimba, give it back. Cheers to everybody for participating in the Sjporr experiment. It has been a hell of a lot of fun, and it's been a hell of an exciting thing to do, to sit there and taste all these different beers and to get to know all these different brewers. We got some great feedback from people about their beers. We've got some really interesting results. It's from a coordinator sitting there watching the votes come in. It's interesting to see how people vote, and the different ways that they vote. You can start to categorise people on their tastes because it's the same kind of beers that they vote for, and they're all in a sort of the same kind of group. There were 2 beers that didn't make the top 6, but came very close. But those 2 beers were in the top 3 from the brewers up in Hellertown that tasted them. And one of them was Mark Constable. Obviously your beer stood out amongst all the rest because of its peat taste. And like the great Rex by Yeasty Boys, some people like peat and some people don't. But you brewed a very exceptional beer, and the brewers noticed that and they marked you accordingly for that beer. And also Corey Reed. Corey, well done mate. Joseph Wood up in Hellertown thought that your beer was top notch and it ranked in the top 3. Big shout out to Corey from the brew house and all the boys at the brew house for helping out, but especially Corey and the brew house. If you need brewing supplies, jump on www.thebrewhouse.co.nz and buy your grains, buy your yeasts, buy your stainless steel. They've got a bunch of stainless steel parts and bits and pieces here too. But yeah, cheers Corey for sponsoring these beers in their great OE all the way over to the US and the UK. I will get them taped up, sealed, ready to go, labelled, and I'll drop you a note and we'll get them sorted out. Till then, happy Homebrew Wednesday. Cheers. Have yourself another one. Even if it's a flat.